Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically are discussing one of the topic that is city creation, and city creation basically are discussing one of the topic that is future creation. In this basically we are discussing SBI account, then Amazon account, then basically we discuss that basically it's after 2 days where the big earthquake is going to happen. That all topic basically we are discussing. In this basically one of the person told that we are discussing actually what, yeah, basically. We actually forget actually what we were discussing. So one person told that the power data basically we are discussing. In this power data basically you will not able to believe it. The country basically supports particular group. For example, somebody told that basically ये जो लड़का है उसका सिर फोड़ने का है. That is digital world. Basically, they are not going to break the head basically through a hammer or basically something basically. They are going to break through digital world basically. Through mobile, through laptop, through computer, through television. Like this basically they break the head basically. Assume that basically somebody has broken my head. Just taking as an example, in really basically they have not broken my head. Just a minute. So one person told that how much power the cricket basically have. And cricket basically are controlled by North group, that is Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. If anybody head has broken, that means North group has done that. Assume that basically somebody broken my head through digital world. They only have the authority. That means Sri Ram group, that is Ayodhya group and Hanumanji group, that is across the North group basically. They only have the authority to break anyone's head. That means if your head has broken, if your head basically had got chakkar or basically something basically has damaged your head or basically brain tumor basically you had brain tumor. Assume that basically I had brain tumor in childhood only. Just taking as an example, basically, real basically I had not. So that is done by North group. Basically. That is UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh. This group only have the authority. This group have those type of poison basically they will inject in your body basically. Your head will get damaged. And there is nobody to ask them. Basically. There is nobody. There is no Supreme Court basically. You can ask UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. Why? Because they have control of US and UK basically. And nowadays basically the entire things basically are handling through digital world. Basically. So who is going to ask UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh? उनके बाप का है हिंदुस्तान. They basically can damage anyone's head, anyone's leg, anyone's head. They can basically damage anyone's head also. Eye also basically they damage. So here basically I'm just talking about head basically. So we will not go on leg or basically hand. So hand also basically we will go. So one of the person told that yeah basically you told that basically North group basically has damaged your head basically. So just taking as an example, right? In really basically they have not damaged. Just a minute. Huh? Just taking as an example. Otherwise basically lots of people says that but ये तो यूपी बिहार और मध्य प्रदेश का दुश्मन है. All will come me and damage my I don't know what they will damage. Because they have power basically. They have power of Sri Ram God. That also basically Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi power basically. They have. On the name of Ayodhya, basically they can damage anything basically. And Supreme Court also basically can't do anything. Why? Because they have already got the power. Because sign is already done, they basically got the power. So they can do anything basically. In this basically assume that basically they have taken some very dangerous decision. They basically told that we will damage that person's head. And that person basically was connected with satellite group. So what is going to happen? In that basically entire north will end basically. I'm telling you. Assume that basically that person basically who is connecting the basically assume that basically that person basically is displaying this video basically or basically any video that time basically the Ayyappa god or basically the Karthik god basically was connected that time basically. That time basically they heard that basically Sunil Nair head basically was damaged. So that group basically know that North group is basically behind this. So they will do anything basically to North. That is UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. That is question basically. That basically time will tell basically. They will do anything or basically they will not do it. To the entire North. In this basically Delhi also came. In between by mistake basically Delhi also came. But it was not supposed to. But connected to North. No? So one person told that due to one person mistake, the entire North came into trouble. That person was not supposed to damage his head, but he damaged. Why? Because his Abhiman basically told that basically I want to damage his head. So he damaged it. That time basically when he damaged, that time basically the Ayyappa god and Karthik god basically was watching basically. He was sleeping basically. As in that basically he was sleeping in this bed. Just taking as an example, basically that time basically the Karthik god and Ayyappa god basically was watching him basically. And that time only basically somebody from north attacked his head basically. Attacked his head. Just taking as an example basically. So that time basically assume that basically that person basically was sleeping in this bed. He was connected with set of satellite group basically. And that time only basically they damaged. And the satellite group basically was connected basically. That group was connected with the north group basically. That is UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh. Because his head is damaged, that means that is north group. Because they have got up to that level power basically. And they misused basically this power basically. And they basically damaged basically that person's head. So just taking, I will take one example basically. Just a minute. Assume that basically that person basically sleeping in like this, and somebody basically from power supply that is this from this area basically, or basically this area, or basically this area, that is north group basically damaged head of myself. Just taking as an example, basically. So up to what level this power supply basically are connected? So one person told that there are many possibilities basically, or Sunil basically. Because if your head basically has damaged by set of you north Pradesh, north basically that is UP, BR and Madhya Pradesh. Just a minute. And you are basically in Gujarat. So Gujaratis are also involved basically. In this. Gujaratis are also involved equally. Basically. So they also came into this basically. They also basically are involved equally basically in damaging head of Sunil Nair. Why? They also got money basically. So one of the person who they basically could damage one person basically head. They basically how much money they got here basically. And why they damage that one of the person told that मजा आई damage करने में मजा आई. Just for that मजा basically you damaged one person head basically. To take one majha, basically you damaged anyone's head basically. So one of the person told that that is North group basically. They basically do for majha basically they can do anything basically. To just take one majha basically they can do anything basically. This was one of the person basically told who have a good experience of North group basically. And this is factor basically I don't know whether it is correct or not. So one person told that who basically has damaged it because somebody. So one of the person told that that group only basically has damaged your head or basically something. Who actually died in front of the world, basically. Who actually died in front of the world, and they are basically doing house in. They basically are doing work in each and every house. So one of the person told that who are those group here basically who actually died in front of the world, and they basically only have the power. Then basically this connected to history basically. Hitler basically has died in front of the world. Jawaharlal Nehru basically died in front of the world. Then Lal Bahadur Shastri basically died in front of the world. Then the last person basically which was left, that was Mahatma Gandhi. He was also basically died in front of the world. So if anybody basically can damage your head, these are the group basically. All basically will never become one. So someone group basically has damaged. And these all basically are big group basically. And they are connected with Europe basically. So in the order of Europe and order of USA basically, they might have done this. And Europe basically are connected with Italy. Italy are connected with Poland. Poland basically are connected with Germany. Germany means that basically Jews, Judaism, which basically just a minute. One caste actually ended long before. Just a minute, I will just take. So it's a Julian caste basically, you can say. So one of the person told that whatever basically that group are basically connected. Then basically the German groups are basically connected with South African. African groups are connected with Dubai. And Dubai groups are basically also connected with some country basically. And that might be connected with the India country basically. Because when the world was started, that time basically there was two language. One was Tamil and one was Sanskrit. On the base of that, the whole world basically has created. So just so one of the person told that. Like this, basically, the head gets damaged. So, in if you are in India, that means the North group basically have the control. That are Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh group. Basically. That are Sharma, Varma, basically that basically comes into the North group. They have damaged your head, basically. And that group basically are connected with directly with cricket group. And one more thing, basically, one person basically asked the question in India, basically, what basically the public likes. So few people told that the Bollywood group basically, the cricket basically. For cricket basically, they can do anything basically. They basically can finish any of the people basically. Will not able to believe basically. I will take one example. This is real story. Basically, which story basically I am telling. In Bangalore city basically, I will just a minute basically because it's a real story, so you should basically perfectly basically find. So just a minute. So one of the persons here, मतलब क्या पी रहा है तू यहाँ पे? So this is water basically. So just a minute. One person told that one person basically was staying in Bangalore basically. He connected to one cricket basically, cricket person basically. He told that they basically had one bet basically. Bet means sharad basically you say. They told that basically if I will win, then basically you marry to this girl basically. If he will win, then basically you marry to that girl. One person basically won, and he basically got married to that girl. Basically. But that the problem basically here was that girl basically was having AIDS. He married basically, but somebody basically given him information basically that that girl basically is having AIDS here basically. You don't know basically that she actually was staying in South Africa and she basically came back from South Africa. In between of she basically was doing MBA and she basically came in between basically of study of MBA. Basically. Why? Because she was connected to AIDS and you basically had married that girl basically. So see the story basically because on last day everything is going to calculate that story. So he told that she basically was having AIDS, but that person basically got the information. But that basically at that time basically connected to AIDS disease. That boy basically, but it was not so much basically. So he basically got some information basically someone from someone basically that said that girl basically is having AIDS. So for one cricket basically for one cricket basically that boy got AIDS just for cricket basically just for Sharad basically that is bet basically so that is cricket in India basically will not able to believe it so that condition is also basically today satisfied cricket condition from this video so just a minute. Because each and every condition are getting satisfied so on last day one condition would be so one person told that यार basically मतलब ये क्रिकेट के लिए उसको एड्स दे दिया मतलब पब्लिक क्या इतनी पागल है इंडियन पब्लिक सॉरी नॉट इंडियन पब्लिक बैंगलोर पब्लिक फॉर क्रिकेट बेसिकली यू हैव गिवन एड्स टू दैट पर्टिकुलर बॉय बेसिकली So basically, not boy basically, that young boy basically, for just for cricket basically, and you killed him basically. Assume that basically today world is going to end. So this condition is also going to be taken, and the entire Bangalore city is going to be covered here. And this is real story, yeah, basically. This is real story basically. If you want to write down somewhere and if you want to do inquiry, basically you can do that basically. That is not Mumbai, that is Bangalore basically. Where basically Infosys basically stay. That is the Narayan Murthy basically stays there. Infosys owner basically stays there. In that city basically this has happened. In that city basically this has happened. So in that city basically this was happened. And this is real story. Yeah, basically. But he basically escaped from that AIDS. And he basically done some treatment and he basically got out basically from AIDS disease. But here the way another thing basically was when basically he tried to do second marriage, that time basically he got that he basically was not going to become father also. Why? Because another basically sharat was that was basically his Nasbandi is also supposed to happen, and they basically done that also. That girl's family basically just for money basically they have got some money basically from cricket group basically. That is Bangalore cricket group basically. So one of the person told them, cricket क्या ये सब करता है? Cricket basically do this whole thing basically. And this case basically reached to BCCI group basically. They told that basically that is basically your India's problem, not our problem. Basically. And currently basically it's war basically ongoing in Europe basically. And more than 1 lakh soldier basically died in Europe basically. And this is real story, yeah, basically this is real story. So one of the person told that so this cricket basically become headache basically. सर दर्द हो गया क्रिकेट क्रिकेटर बेसिकली सरदर्द हो गए धोनी सरदर्द हो गया 1% told up to this level also basically. And 1% basically you but 1% told भाई धोनी ने तो वर्ल्ड कप जीता है यार and you basically can't tell like this basically धोनी basically सरदर्द हो गया but what about that person basically who died here basically what you are going to get you are basically going to give another birth basically to that person basically just for cricket basically he got AIDS. So one person told that you are telling धोनी को ऐसा बोला वैसा बोला if the AIDS will happen to you basically that time basically you will believe it basically that यार cricket सर दर्द हो गया सही cricket headache basically has happened as cricket has converted into headache and in this Bollywood group also basically converted into headache. Why? Because they also jumped into a basically see basically 2020 World Cup is not going in that basically most of people basically are have purchased the cricket team basically that are from Bollywood group basically. And few businessmen also basically jumped into it. That is the main thing. So on the base of cricket basically they killed that particular person here basically. So one of the person told that क्या पता क्रिकेट में और क्या क्या किया है what are the else basically thing cricket group basically has done. That is also question basically up to what level cricket has done. This is basically just came in front basically. This thing basically has just came in front basically. If it has not came basically then the thing basically which has not came, what about that basically? So one person told that ऊपर से क्रिकेट में तो The prime minister also basically has given one name, basically, one cricket stadium. So you can just imagine basically, prime minister also basically jumped into this. This was basically supposed to. So just a minute. On the name of cricket, basically, everybody jumped. But this was not supposed to actually. Cricket, that is totally different thing basically. That is not a political people part basically. Cricket is not a part of Bollywood basically. Cricket is totally different basically. You are not supposed to merge with cricket basically. So in this basically, that person basically who died in Bangalore, political people also basically came into this. Why? Because stadium is name is basically on the name of Prime Minister basically. That is Narendra Damodar Modi in Ahmedabad basically. So now basically political group basically also came into this. Now basically what to do? Basically? Then basically one of the person told that we want the name of that person basically who actually connected to AIDS due to cricket basically. You are telling that basically story. So you connect to the healthcare department. They will tell you basically who is that person basically. And he is basically from Bangalore basically, not Mumbai basically. So one of the person told that on the name of cricket basically, see the stuff basically which has happened. And this everything is done basically. सब कुछ हो चुका है. After that basically I am displaying this video. So one of the person told that what the name of cricket basically you will do up to this level here basically. And in this basically you are taking Bollywood group also basically. You are taking political people also basically into this. And this is real story. So one of the person told that all cricket basically team are like this or basically or only it's India team basically. Because that person basically was Indian cricket team one person basically. And this is real story basically. One of the person from Bangalore basically when I visited basically Bangalore for job purpose basically for 6 months basically I visited there. That time basically one of the person told me, and he was local person basically, and he told that basically cricket बहुत गंदा हो गया. He told that cricket basically has become very bad. So stay away from cricket. And I told that basically I never watched cricket. Basically. Sometime basically, if in front basically cricket is on, that basically I watch. That also basically I just going up to that level basically I watch. After that basically I don't watch. Why? Because I know that basically cricket बहुत गंदा हो गया. They can go up to the level basically. That World Trade Center basically I saw that basically. That is collected by the money basically. That is basically cricket basically. In 1995 basically, one match basically was there of New Zealand and India basically. In that basically one Canadian person basically developed one software basically. From that software basically 95,000 crore basically money was collected. And now basically and one of the person told that he's basically big political person basically now. That photo basically I showed I have basically displayed in previous video. So in this software industry also came. Software industry also came na basically this. So one of the person told that yeah, world has reached up to what level basically. See basically. So just on the name of cricket basically, you taken political people, software group, then Bollywood group, political people, then basically other group basically, other group basically, you can say industrial group basically also you have taken. Healthcare department also you have taken, right? Because that person basically got AIDS and he basically died. So healthcare department also came into picture. So on the name of cricket basically you are doing up to this level. And this is real story. So that is basically other story. And this is real fact basically. So here again back to power basically. Canadian land basically is 2 kilometer area. That is one power. Like this basically assume that there are 3 lakh land basically who are connected with the power supply. And they are getting power basically, power supply. Directly basically you are not getting power supply from the land basically. In this, energy companies are there, power companies are there, nuclear power companies are there. They take data from that land. And they say that basically you have basically eaten carrot. So for carrot, basically different power supply company are basically there. So you can't eat also basically nowadays. So one of the person told that eat food as a medicine. So he basically who basically told that I don't know basically, but somebody basically told, and that means basically he might be knowing lots of things basically. This thing basically one person told that तूने क्या खाया? Carrot. So carrot that means that land, and that is the energy company, power company, and nuclear power company who's going to give you energy basically. Then one person told that basically what do you have eaten basically? Then basically that person told that basically I had eaten badam basically badam and few dry fruits. Then he told that that is the that is the land and that is the energy company, power company and nuclear power company. And he told that basically yeah, after eating dry fruits, basically my hand basically got damaged. Then one was like, by eating dry fruits here, are you sure basically? Then he basically taken the recipe of badam and dry fruits basically, January dry fruits, how basically they were created. And up to what level blood cells basically they are connected. They are connecting to the hand blood cells also or not basically. That they basically saw. Then they told that yes, basically yeah, it's connecting to the tennis elbow. It is connecting to the tennis elbow. So one person told that from dry fruits basically, if you are eating dry fruits, your tennis elbow basically can get effect. And positive is your tennis elbow will become powerful basically. And negative is your tennis elbow will become weak. So one person told that यार basically यार खाए क्या हम यार basically what we should eat basically like क्या खाए हम one person told that यार तू dry fruits you have eaten dry fruits yes basically that land then that is the nuclear power company energy company and power company they are going to give you power supply so one person told that after eating that na, basically I my tennis elbow basically got affected so from dry fruits basically then basically taken the map basically of how many body parts basically it affects then basically it was that yes basically it is affecting tennis elbow so one of the person told that yeah, he basically told that यार what to do basically now क्या करे क्या what to do basically so just a minute one person told that यार करे करूँ what मतलब क्या करूँ should I finish the entire UAE basically but in that UAE basically Makkah Medina is also basically there so due to that group basically who created the dry foods basically the Makkah Medina will also get in trouble basically in that basically God also basically gave you have taken God group also basically into that unnecessary So on the base of basically power, basically you do anything basically. That Uttar Pradesh, Bihar grew and Madhya Pradesh grew basically. There basically Ayodhya Ram Mandir is there. And you have used Ayodhya Ram Mandir and damaged one person head basically. So हिंदुस्तान तुम्हारे बाप का है that you basically can damage anyone's head. And one person told that यार उनका तो मंदिर बन चुका है. So they are going to damage basically anything basically. In that basically Supreme Court also basically can't do anything. Why? Because they have got the power. They have got the power basically. Like this Sri Krishna God temple is also created. Mahakali temple is also created. And the power basically of head is given to North. And they basically misused that power. Basically. And this is also a real story. So whatever story basically if I say the real, that is a real. Basically. I had taken one demo basically. That person basically was sleeping and he basically got head damage from this whole power supply. Basically, the data came basically. So one person told me, यार basically अब मतलब क्या करें मतलब what to do basically of this world basically. Human basically can't stay basically. He basically can't eat anything. If he is eating basically like medicine basically, then also basically his body parts basically gets damaged. Now basically what to do? One person basically was eating like a medicine. He only told me. My also lots of body parts basically are damaged, but I never basically spoken in front of the world basically. That basically my doctors basically take care. So one of the person put that is basically rich people, yeah. But what about the poor people? Just what about the poor people? For example, I was sleeping here basically. My head got damaged. So I am poor person here basically. Where basically I will go? What I will do basically? Well, if Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh people basically are doing up to this level, where should I go basically? Tell basically. Tell. On the name of UP, on the name of Bihar, basically, on the name of Madhya Pradesh, basically, you can do anything basically. मतलब तुम्हारे बाप का है हिंदुस्तान. So one person told that basically few people basically only have the power to damage anyone's head. Everybody, this type of activity basically who knows basically the people who know they only basically can do this. So one person told that yes, basically the people who know they only basically can damage this. They only basically can damage this. And this is the real story. So one person told that the power supply basically which software companies are getting basically damaging head basically is connected to that also. Why? Because nowadays the digital world is there. So one person basically sleeping here, his head basically was damaged by digital software basically. It was not damaged like that basically. Some digital software basically was used to damage the head basically. So in this basically that Canadian land also basically came into picture. So there is no one basically who can ask Canada basically. क्यों? कनाडा के बाप का है. computer basically. So he is going to ask them basically. And they have given the permission to UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. So in this basically unnecessary, Canada came also into the picture basically. That is the 2 kilometer land. SAP, Microsoft, Salesforce, everybody came into this because the damage is already done basically. So assume that basically that person is me basically. I was sleeping here and somebody basically damaged my head. So one person told that basically that is UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. But without USA basically, that was not possible. So in this USA also was involved basically. That is United States of America. So just a minute. And one person basically watched this video and he told them basically, sorry, yeah, basically, sorry. We basically don't know that basically this happened. So America only know one word that is sorry basically. They will throw few hundreds of missile basically in one country and after that basically they will say sorry basically. They will kill 1 lakh people basically, army's group, and then they will say sorry basically. That is the USA. So here basically we are not discussing USA is what, but that is fact basically. You have to accept that. Basically. And what are basically Indian Army basically? That also we have discussed. That 93 bomb blast. And that is fact basically. That is basically fact about the Indian group basically. That is the police department basically. They basically checks that basically according to their plan basically stuff basically are ongoing or not basically. You can't believe that basically. Basically up to what level the police department are. So one of the person told that Sunil, you are basically complaint basically was thrown in the dustbin basically. That is nothing here basically. वो तो कुछ नहीं है पुलिस के लिए. See basically what are the things basically they do with the public. And one of the person told that यार कुछ भी हो तो पुलिस के पास जाने का. Now where to go basically? One of the person basically asked the question, कहाँ जाए अब basically? जाए तो जाए कहाँ? That is basically one song basically is there. Now where to go basically? Where to go basically? One person basically asked the question. The Canadian group basically gives the power to UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh and tells that basically you too by damage kar le. You damage basically had basically. Later on basically we will see whatever thing basically is going to happen because we have US power also. US are basically our partner. That New York Stock Exchange. They are basically our partner. So basically you don't worry about. We will take care of you. So they damaged with UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh with the support of USA. They damaged the head basically. As if that person basically was me and was sleeping here with. So here basically I'm just taking as an example of myself basically. In really basically my head has not damaged when basically I was sleeping here. In really basically it has not happened. Basically. In really basically it has not happened. So one person told that one person basically can't stay also here basically. मतलब एक आदमी peacefully basically he can't stay in this world basically. So one person told that पूरा world basically end कर देंगे. Should we finish the whole world basically? Then we will recreate the world. And then basically we will not create the country basically who are giving problem. and we will not create specially those group basically who are basically are damaging the head with. So due to that one person basically, entire state basically came into picture. Entire state came into picture. You can't believe it. So just so one of the army person told that we have created lots of states basically. So in future basically war will start now basically. We will decide where to move the missile basically. So that time basically we can solve your problem basically. But that is not the solution basically. Head is already damaged basically. And then basically you will say like America basically. Sorry, that is not going to happen basically. America, you are basically also behaving like America basically. America basically always say 100 missile basically throw and then basically they sorry basically. They killed one lakh soldier and then basically they will say sorry basically. So that is America basically. They can say that basically. But you can't say sorry basically. Why? Because you are India basically. And you basically can't copy America basically. So in this basically, one software industry group basically damaged one person's head. Basically. Now basically what that person is going to do basically, tell me. He should die basically now. After damaging also basically you are not getting satisfied. He should die basically. So one person told that cricket condition is done now basically. Now next condition basically is going to happen. And wait for that next condition. And last condition basically will be very dangerous. So one person told that यार मतलब software the Canadian group basically have got one power basically. So they are using this type of basically power supply. And there is no one basically who can ask Canada basically. Why? Because they are partner of USA, partner of America, partner of India. So he is going to ask basically them. He's friend of Narendra Damodar Modi, and his name basically one cricket stadium is also there in Ahmedabad. So who is going to ask this all group basically? Supreme Court basically say that basically we have given permission of Ram Temple basically now basically they can do anything. They can basically damage anyone's head also, and they had done that basically, with the help of America. They told that basically we have started by damaging heads when basically one person basically was sleeping here. So one person told that yeah, matlab, now basically what should we do? After damaging head, basically you are not getting satisfied. You are not giving. You are basically not enjoying. Then basically what should we do? On the name of enjoyment, basically damaged one person's head, basically, just to enjoy basically. And there is no one basically who is going to ask you basically. And you basically thought that basically nobody can track you basically. You will basically enjoy the life basically. And there is no one basically who can ask you basically. You basically thought that basically that you basically can damage anyone's heart and you basically can do nishani of heart in heart, and there is nobody basically who can see you basically. You basically thought that basically. You basically might have thought all that also basically. First basically you had damaged head, and then basically you damaged heart also. So on last day, everything is going to calculate. So don't worry. Basically. So one of the percent of the enjoy basically what basically we get. Damage the head and enjoy. Damage the head and enjoy. Damage the head and enjoy. हेड को डैमेज करो और एंजॉय करो. In this basically that person basically assume that basically that person was sleeping here and he was basically sleeping in Vadodara basically. That is Gujarat basically, Gujarati state basically. In that basically Gujarat also came into picture. So that is basically the bird. One of the satellite person told that this type of bird basically we have never created. That is your people has created that. We basically have never created this type of bird. If this is world basically, then basically we don't want that world basically. We will not use this energy basically. We will destroy everything basically. Due to that one person told that that was girl or basically that was boy basically. That is also question. Few people basically tell that basically your head basically was damaged by one girl basically. Girls group basically. Because they were drunk basically. On drunk basically they damaged your head basically. One of the satellite person basically tracked this and then basically he told this. That few girls basically were drunk and they basically damaged your head basically. With the help of UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. Because they only have the power to damage the head basically. Nobody else basically have the power. Nobody else basically have the power. So on the name of enjoyment basically, you damage head basically. You damaged the head. And that also basically the Canadian group basically supported you. Assume that basically that software basically used was of Java. Just taking an example, in really basically they might have used some PHP also basically. But here basically we are taking it in Java. So from Java basically the software was connected to damage the head. So one person told that how basically they might have tracked basically. So one person told that you basically whatever things basically you had that day basically. For example, you had roti, you basically had chapati, you basically had bread, you basically had this much water. That everything basically was calculated. That means whatever thing basically you are eating basically. That means somebody was doing jasusi of you basically to damage your head basically. So to damage your head basically, they have done up to the level planning basically. So the condition today basically which has happened of cricket basically, that is also up to the level planning basically. So one person told that on the name of cricket basically you will give aids to anyone basically. On the name of Hanuman temple and Ram temple basically you can basically damage anyone's head basically. So one person told that, yeah, that is very dangerous thing basically. Things basically which has done. And if this type of video basically UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh people will see it, then they basically will become angry basically. But they should know na, basically what they have done basically. One person basically sleeping here and they basically damaged your head basically, damaged my head basically. And nobody is basically to ask why because I am poor basically. If any rich person's basically head you will damage, then basically see what are the thing basically going to happen. They will finish entire north basically. But I am poor basically. I can't do anything. So after this video, basically one person basically told that basically we want basically the list here basically. How many people basically from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh who have the power basically to damage head basically. Because after from that software basically we can track basically how many head was damaged by this group with the help of USA and Canada. And this is fact basically. So one of the person told that the metrics basically you see in a basically. In this basically they have used Canada land. That time that day basically assume that basically he had the carrot. So they was connected to that carrot land also. They taken the carrot land energy. They basically had that energy company also data. Assume that basically I had tomato also. So they basically connected to tomato land also. So like this entire combination basically they have used and damaged your head basically. When basically you are sleeping here. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic. That is how Canadian group basically are using their power and how American groups basically are using their power and how basically the North group basically that is UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh group basically are using the power and nobody basically that is Supreme Court and High Court basically is asking to them. Why? Because Ram temple is already created. So already created that means they have already got the power. So on the base of power basically they have damaged one person's head basically when he was sleeping here. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic basically which is one user story.